A minivan or a station wagon peering along I-71, just hoping to be the first to spot that Eiffel Tower replica rising into the sky in Mason. Hard to know the answer to that question. I only know it's been happening for a half a century now. Kings Island is celebrating its 50th season this year, so I thought we'd get ourselves a little unstuck in time with some video collected by photographer Brian Lamb from a variety of different sources, who you'll see named on your screen here in a minute. Also some archival footage of our own from here at Local 12 and some material provided by the park itself. Let's look at some of what was, consider what still is, and ponder what may be.
No better place to start this journey than at the racer. It's been here since the beginning. Long enough for Don Helbig to ride it 10,000 times, and it even has a brand new paint job for this 50th season. But there are a lot of rides from when this place opened and that folks experienced through the 1970s that are no more. You can't exactly jump into one of the sky ride buckets and ride a wire above the park these days. That's long gone. If you try to find the Shawnee Lookout canoes, you're up a creek. Speaking of boat rides, the Enchanted Voyage was always a nice place to see some of your favorite characters and cool off from the hot summer sun. Eventually, the Smurfs would take over this terrain before Boo Blasters and a Phantom Theater dried it out. As the 70s gave way to the 80s, the Beast had come on the scene. It's still roaring today, of course. And eventually came a coaster that we stood in line for, only to jump on board and stand some more. The King Cobra wowed many a Swatch watch wearing teenager. It was around from '84 until 2001. Only a few years after the Cobra reared its head, the Vortex looped and spun its way into the pounding hearts and dizzied minds of the KI faithful, and it stuck around until 2019. These days, of course, the Diamondback and the Giga Coaster that is Orion thrill the thrill seekers. Who knows what could come next? But let's not forget the rides that go at a milder pace. The Cuddle Up, the Turnpike, Gulliver's Rub-a-Dub. Lots of memories have been made in the slow lane, too.
And trust me, I know this doesn't even scratch the surface of what's come and gone. We didn't talk about it being Paramount's Kings Island for a spell, or the kids area going from Hanna-Barbera Land to Nickelodeon Universe to Planet Snoopy. Could be a documentary, but we don't have that kind of time. What we would love, though, is for you to keep sharing some of your Kings Island pictures and videos with us by going to local12.com/chime-in. Check these out. If you can't find your car, it might be because Jennifer Dawson has one of the old signs from the parking lot. You were in Scrappy-Doo, row 5. Check this one out. Everyone here knows of the infamous Brady Bunch episode filmed at Kings Island, but not everyone got to sit and chat with Peter Brady. This is Jess Farrell's mom, Joy Ackerman, talking up Christopher Knight. I love that. And I'm not sure you could find a better image of the 1970s transitioning into the 80s than this picture of Julie Connigan Green's family out in front of a fairly new Beast. And speaking of Beast, Captain Caveman was a hairy guy, and Katie Spearman Lynch was not all about that, as her parents moved her in closer for a picture. But then there's my lovely wife, who looks perfectly content hanging out with this snail.
Aww.
And there's this picture. That's Zach and Josh right there next to Fred Flintstone. And the blondie on the far right, their cousin, one Adam Clements, already exhibiting the charisma and machismo of an anchorman.
He looks aloof, doesn't he?
He does. I love some of that, and kudos to Brian Lamb and all of the people who got that video to him from family videos and pictures and all that kind of stuff, because I think we freeze Kings Island in the era when we went there most. You know what I mean? So a lot of those images are familiar
when my
to me.
kids were little, in the thick